What's up, guys? Welcome back to Walk the Talk. I'm Noah,
I'm Kyle.
And I'm Ethan.
and today we're talking about how to share Christ in general, but maybe more specifically in schools, because that's where we spend most of our time as high schoolers. So it's pretty important we learn how to share there as well. So
Yeah, I think in this high school world we live in, this is such a crucial aspect because it's so hard to share Christ within the school.
Yeah, we're going to focus on schools, but, there's so many different other environments, just like people that you hang out with, but they might not go to your school or like work, we might not all have jobs, but, some of us do. And, a lot of those places that we work at, there's people that are our age there. So,
yeah,
that's another environment too. And just, share how to share it wherever you go.
yeah, it's especially tough. Like we're gonna touch on this later. It's especially tough to share it at school or work because not everybody there is Christian, and they may think maybe like lower of Christians, and they may think that they have that they're better or something like that, and so we may feel that we're being judged. So it's tough to share it like that. So we're gonna touch on that later as well.
Yeah, we're gonna try to help you guys learn how to spread the word without making it too cringy or too pushy.
Because the last thing we want is to be pushy. The last thing we want is to make others feel forced to follow God. Yeah. So we're gonna start off with this verse. It's Mark 16. Actually, we'll just do Mark 16:16. Whoever believes and is baptized will be saved, but whoever does not believe will be condemned. You guys have any thoughts on that verse?
Yeah, like kind of just like going with like we were talking about like inviting, it's like also something that like I've been heard a lot, and like I heard it in a message like not that long ago is one of the best things you can do when sharing your faith is you don't want to use all your knowledge to try and like get someone to come. Like the best thing you can do to share your faith is just invite someone to church. Like you don't have to like go all out, like quote as much scripture as you can, show someone a verse in the Bible that like will try to convince them. What you need to do is just get that courage to invite someone to church. And I heard it in a message by Mark Moore a while ago.
The goat.
Yeah.
We love Mark Moore.
And basically, it's our job to invite, and then it's the church and the pastors. They're the ones who help try to convince them with those messages. And one of the best, and what he said is, when you're asked to talking to someone, invite them to church. And, they're like, but what if, like, blah, blah, blah. You know what you say to them? Come and see.
Come and see. Nice, nice.
Just come and see what the church is all about. And, like, sometimes with people, it's also, like, they've gone to other churches and they've had bad experiences with those churches, but what you need to do is just tell them that, like, every church is different.
Yeah.
And that, I'm sorry that you might have had a bad experience at another church, but, come try out this one that I go to.
Yeah.
I really like it, and I think that you might too.
Yeah, I remember Mark Moore, he talked about church hurt. There was a really good lesson, or a good service, not lesson, a couple weeks ago. He talked about exactly what you said, that like we're sorry that you had a bad experience here, but come check out our church. Our church will hopefully be better for you. And yeah, I don't know. I like Mark Moore. He's super cool.
You're talking about the one with like that lady stripper? Is that the one you were talking about?
No, so like, not out of context, but yeah, he shared this. Actually, no, I don't believe that was Mark that shared that.
I think that was Ashley.
Yeah.
No, it was some guest speaker.
Dave Stone.
Yeah, Dave Stone.
Okay.
He said this whole thing about how like he I forgot where he said he was living at the time, but like his wife was a part of this whole group who like went and like made meals and stuff and brought it to strip clubs because a lot of the like people there is like young women who really are just they're doing it more so to just get by because they're just not in good financial situations. And so they bring them like hot meals and whatnot and just talk with them, and then it ended up turning into this whole thing where they came over to the pastor's house for dinner, and like they did this every year thing for a couple of years, and like it helped bring them all to Christ, and then they were able to like baptize a bunch of them.
Yeah, I remember another message that it was like just one girl rather than like a whole group, and I think it was Ashley.
Was it the one about the Ukrainian?
No, this was like months ago. This was a message that was months ago, and I remember Ashley saying how he was like he met this one girl like I think just like on the street or something, and she they obviously got to talking. She mentioned how the church she went to before like shamed her and like made it so she like thought church she just wasn't allowed to go to church anymore because of what she did, like stripping and stuff. But she didn't want to strip. Like that was just
She just had to because she had to get
she
money.
had to get
Yeah.
money. Like and this is it's like hard on her because she thought the one thing that or the way she wanted to pull herself to Christ by going to church was gonna be good, but in reality, like that church, I think it was actually the senior pastor that said it to her, like you're not welcome here,
Yeah.
like go back. And then she came to CCV, also known as Christ Church of the Valley, if you don't know that, and she talked to a couple pastors there, and now she serves I think at the Levine campus or something.
Yeah, I mean,
Pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean that's
Good story.
Yeah, amazing story. And yeah, it's just like people have bad experiences at the other churches, and that's something that is definitely a problem when it comes to churches. In today's world, there's so many like other things that are like corrupting people and whatnot. But I mean, we literally said this. We had a whole episode about this. If you haven't listened to it, go listen to it. But
Judgment.
yeah,
Judgment.
judge
Yeah.
within the church, not outside.
That's God's job.
It's sure there might be someone who who like does sexual things or like does drugs or whatnot, but that's not our job to judge them. I struggled with that. I've judged those people, but I've learned that they just haven't seen what God can do in their lives yet. So if you just give them that invite and then you just say, come and see.
Come and see.
Come and see. That's right.
And the hardest part about all this is if you invite someone to church, they might not just like we expect them sometimes to just be like, oh, okay, I'll come.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not that simple at all.
Yeah.
Like it's a lot harder. And like I said, you don't want to like push them, but like sometimes like we'll slip up and we'll be like, no, like you have to come.
Mm-hmm.
But that,
they don't have to come. It's
yeah.
their choice.
So
like we don't want to be pushy. We don't want to force them to come.
Yeah. One thing that my parents would tell me, because I was trying to get one of my friends to come to church a while back, and I would like tell her like, hey, do you want to come to church this weekend? And she's like, oh, I'm busy. And instead of being like, well, blah blah, like, can you come to this service or this service or this service, and kind of keep like dragging it out in a way. You're just like, okay, and then the next week ask them again, and then the next week ask them again. It just takes time. Because it's not, it's
like
just
everything.
not, basically. It's kind of like, I don't know, I'm trying to like, it's just pretty much like asking someone to try a whole new food, basically. Like that they've heard from a lot of their friends. Let's do it this way. So somebody has a lot of friends that be like, oh, don't try this restaurant's horrible. But in reality, like the people that like, have been going there a while or whatever, or people have like actually tried it and not have just heard gossip about it, that when they go there, they actually like love it and like just continuously go back.
Alright. So yeah, so kind of like what you're saying with that whole thing that you just went on about, like that's something that what's happened to me is like I've tried to invite people and then they do that, like they like say excuses and whatnot, and for me in the past it's something that definitely has like been hard because it's like discouraged me, and that's something that you guys have probably faced too. Like you get discouraged because like you try and you fail, and
it's discouraging to fail in everything, not even just this, in everything.
Like failure sucks, but like it's like what people say about everything when it comes to failure. You gotta keep trying because that's how you see results.
And another thing I saw this also on Instagram. It was this video where it said, if you had the cure to cancer and your friends had cancer, why wouldn't you tell them? So it just kind of gives you perspective when you're thinking when you're too scared to like share. Does that make sense?
Yeah. It's like you have the key to happiness and eternal life in heaven. Why would you not share it with your friends
Literally.
who don't have it?
Yeah.
So, yeah, that makes sense. Another thing that it was Ashley who was saying it. He was saying it a couple weeks ago about church.
Ashley, real quick. Ashley Woldridge is our senior pastor at
Yes.
CCB.
Anyway, yeah. So Ashley was saying it. He said that it wasn't God who hurt you. It was the people. It was the earthly beings who hurt you. It wasn't God. So that kind of just stuck out to me. Like people who have church hurt, it's completely valid, but it wasn't the people. So like, why not give the church another shot with a different church? You know?
Exactly. That's really good. Man, Ashley's awesome.
He is cool.
Dude, we love Ashley, man.
Another thing, like for us teenagers, one of the best things to invite, such as inviting someone to church, is especially with us being at CCV, invite someone to camp.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
that's one of
Camp is such a good like opportunity to invite someone, because not only is it just like message, because if you invite someone to church, it's
just
probably
message.
like iffy, because they're gonna think like, because the stereotypical church is boring.
Mhm.
It's just like we're gonna sit down and watch like a 3-hour, 2-hour message. But camp is like,
Camp is just fun.
dude,
Like,
camp
you're
is
just
so
doing
fun.
stuff all day.
Exactly,
It's
and you're
just
spending
fun.
it with your friends.
like it's make faith fun.
Exactly,
It's what? Oh, make
it
faith
makes
fun.
faith
Uh-huh.
fun. Yeah, that's a great way to put it. Because
Yeah.
it's not only is it like messages, but like the worship isn't just like super low and like mellow. It's like hype,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
and then like when it needs to get low, it gets low.
Yeah.
And it's just really, really good messages.
Mhm.
And then you're like, okay, and now I want to check out church, because if this is how church is gonna be, I'm gonna do that. And then it is kind of like that, and then they get kind of stuck with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I mean that's especially a great thing with CCV, and like just inviting someone to church, and then like they get that like introduction, and they see those people around them, and that they can still have fun, and also have faith in their life, and then just going onward. Honestly, I'm realizing as I'm thinking about what I'm about to say next is how this and then our other this and then the past 2 episodes that we just made all kind of connect, because
They do.
they get that camp pie, and then that's where they need that accountability to keep on
Dude,
going.
we've said it in the
keep
past
on
so
going,
many
yeah.
episodes, but dude, it's because it's true.
Yeah,
Like,
it's true. It's a
accountability
big
is
thing.
so
It's a
big.
big thing.
But yeah, so then they get that camp pie from going to that introduction, and then
Mm-hmm.
that's honestly that part after that. Like, we need the job of inviting them to camp, and then if they want to keep coming, then it's our job to be their accountability partner, and that's
Help
honestly,
them fuel the fire.
and that's
Fire.
honestly the biggest
Yes,
step.
yes.
Instead of just inviting, you need to, once someone commits and wants to go all in, then you need to be their person to support them along the way. And as you go about that, then you help grow each other's faith. And like that's when, going back to another episode, the whole judgment thing, then now that they're a Christian and they say they're a Christian but they aren't acting like it, that's when it's okay to judge them. But then before you invite them or anything, and it's not your place to judge, and I'm just gonna throw that out there too, just like a little reminder for you guys. But yeah,
That's good. That's really
Dude,
good.
that was really good.
That was good.
Dude, I didn't realize how much our episodes actually tie together.
I know.
Like, this wasn't even like planned or anything. Like this was just like
It's pretty cool.
it's really weird.
Uh-huh. We'll move on to another verse. Hopefully you guys... Yes. Okay. Matthew 4:19. It says, "Come follow me," Jesus said, "and I'll send you out to fish for people."
Or go out and be a fisher of men, as
Fisher of
me and
men.
Noah have.
Mhm.
Ethan has, but he's not wearing it.
Lame.
I have a shirt too, but
He has a
I have to
shirt.
show off the Happy Gilmore jersey today.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if that got on the camera, but I don't know if you were able to read. But yeah, Happy Gilmore
Happy Gilmore. Yeah.
jersey.
He doesn't like Adam Sandler.
Definitely not.
No.
My Bobby Boucher jersey agrees.
Yeah.
But yeah, fishers of
Yeah.
men. That's what God wants us to do. Our job is to go and I'll say it in a fisher way. We cast our line, and then we have to reel in people
Mm-hmm.
and bring them to Christ.
Mm-hmm.
That's the most important part of this all, I guess. Like, like we talked about earlier, it's our job to fish for the men, or not just men, people,
Everyone.
everybody.
Men and women.
Yeah, men and women. That's just what the hat says, because that's what the verse said. But yeah, it's our job to do that, and we need to, and yeah, we need to try and do that, I guess.
Okay, so basically when you guys are fishing and you have your line out and it's like more fish than you can really handle, when you try to reel that back in, it's going to snap, or it's going to be really, really tough to pull it in. So what you need to do is, this kind of connects, like if you're trying too hard and you're like putting too many come to church out, or like pushing them to come to church, it's not going to work, and it's going to be a lot harder. And that bond between you guys and that little like conversation even would just snap.
Mm-hmm.
So just lighten your load.
Yeah, I see that all the time. Like on TikTok, I could be scrolling on TikTok and I find a Christian video, and sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes there's people in the comments that are like, "Stop forcing your religion on me," and like they're not doing that in the video, but it's kind of just like a good reminder to, like, you want to do it right. You want to do it. You want to do it in a strategic way. You want to do it where people want to come. You don't want to force somebody, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and honestly, this is kind of like coming from a Christian perspective. When we see like all these LGBTQ videos, and we see like people like going in the streets or whatever, like throwing their flags and like spray painting things, we're like, oh my gosh, that's horrible.
Mm-hmm.
But in reality, sometimes we actually tend to do that too.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to our religion, like we'll be like in the streets, just literally just like screaming, like, follow Jesus. But
That's not how you do it.
that's not how you do it.
And like it's also like there's so many different ideologies, whether it comes to like, you know, religion. There's different religions. There's like what you were talking about, you know, different like ideologies and whatnot, and like even like politics nowadays, and like, you know, spreading different opinions has just gotten so more like violent and aggressive. It's like basically everyone's forcing their ideology down people's throats, instead of like, you know, oh, like, you know, like say in terms of politics, like, oh, I'm a Democrat, but you're a Republican, but like, you know, just kind of like see how we think, kind of, and then just see if like it might be something that you like, or like vice versa, and like stuff like that, or like just, you know, even when it comes to like other religions, like, you know, say like, you know, we're Christians, but like say we know people who are like Mormons or Catholics. It's like, you know, okay, you have your religion and like it's similar to mine, but like you're also different. But like, come see what mine's about and see what you think compared to it.
And I'll see what yours is about, if you want.
Yeah.
And then that's kind of when you can kind of show them, like, but like very subtly, that, you know, Christianity is where you kind of want to flip over to, but without saying it.
Yeah.
Like, you'll just like, so instead of like being like, okay, so yeah, you see how you're wrong here, this is what you should do, you could like prove to them, like pulling out like facts and being like, so I like how you said this, blah blah blah, but in you know how like in essays when you're writing and you have like a different perspective, sometimes you could do it like that.
Oh yeah, like a counter argument.
Like a counter argument, basically, where you kind of go along with them, but you show them how if they do that, it won't be right.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
That makes sense. I see that. Like you try and guide them in the right direction.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because I've seen multiple people do that wrong. They just flat out tell the person, "Nope, you're wrong. You're dumb. Come over here. Come to my religion." Like that's not how you do it. You know, you wanna guide them a little bit.
Well, anybody got anything else?
Should we talk about like prayer huddles at school, like
yeah, dude,
in FCA? Yeah.
I think that's actually like a really, really good thing to do.
Yeah.
Because it's not in like, okay, so like FCA is in the gym, so it's kind of hard to like join because not a lot of people know it.
Prayer huddle is something that happens at a bunch of schools around the valley. We do one at ours. There's a bunch of other schools that do it too. We just like get together in the morning and like pray over like the school and like whatever prayer requests people have and whatnot. And then FCA is Fellowship of Christian Athletes, but it's not necessarily, you don't have to be an athlete to go to it.
Mhm.
It's just like these things where it's just community of Christians getting together at school to outwardly express their faith.
We kind of have like lessons too that like tie into your sports. So it could be how to like trust in God more when you're playing your sport or whatever, stuff like that. So,
Yeah. But with the whole FCA thing, it's harder because it's like a closed gym for some. I know for our school it's closed, so it's kind of hard to like be like, oh, okay, that's cool. I should go check that out.
you can't really see it.
Exactly. When it comes to like prayer huddles though,
That's outside.
it's
so
outside. So
when it's not cold.
yeah,
Yeah.
when it's freezing, it'll just be like in the cafeteria or something. But when you can see it, like prayer huddles, usually when it's outside, it's big.
It's pretty big.
It's
Yeah.
pretty big, and we have a small school, so like other schools, it'd be even bigger. And I don't know, like Reggie O'Connor, Liberty, those like bigger schools, they have like a lot more people, so it's easier to see. But when you're coming, so at sunrise, you just walk through the gate, and the whole prayer circle's right there, and like you're pretty noticeable. Like you'll be able to see. It's noticeable. It's really noticeable, and some people might not know what's going on. So what'll tend to happen is people just like walk over, see what's happening, be like, oh, okay, I might as well see what's happening. They could like it and they could stay.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some people who just sit outside and wait for us to finish praying before they grab
And they grab
donuts.
donuts.
But
Yeah. It
I
is
mean,
what
that's
it
another
is.
thing at our prayer circle at sunrise. We have donuts.
Donuts.
So
If you go to
Come to prayer
Sunrise,
circle.
Yeah.
come to prayer circle.
Yeah.
Don't just sit on the outside. Come in the actual circle.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think that just about wraps it up. Thank you guys for watching. We really appreciate it. A couple more things before we end this off. And if you click the link in our bio, the link tree, we have a little section for prayer requests. So if you guys have anything we want you to that you want us to pray about, it could be school, sports, work,
Just about anything.
anything, literally
Really?
anything.
Yeah, I mean, literally anything. We're completely here. I mean, I've been checking it. There's really nothing in there.
No, we need
So-
more people. Come on.
Yeah,
So-
I mean, we are here for you guys.
Mhm.
Even just like DM us, comment,
Or DM us,
text
yeah,
us,
comment.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, you guys have anything you want to say? No.
Just thank you guys for watching. If you like our content, obviously like subscribe and follow all of our social accounts. Hoping to get more content out. Actually, you might not know if you can tell, but if you're looking at my socks, in fact, I've worn the same socks. But this, our past, present, and future episode, and the judgment episode, we all filmed on the same day. So,
That
Yeah.
was really irrelevant. But
That was not
I mean,
necessary.
it's a little fun fact for you guys.
It's fine. It's fine.
But hoping to get some more episodes out. Our next episode, I think we're planning on maybe doing something about relationships.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
With
so,
a guest.
yeah,
So stay
With the
tuned.
guest.
Special guest. We'll find out who soon.
We don't even know who yet.
Yeah, we'll find
but
out,
We'll figure it out.
No, we do.
We do.
We do. Oh yeah, we do. Yeah, we
But
do.
you guys will find out.
You'll find out right
when,
when we post it.
when we film it. So yeah, this will be the third episode that we'll release, the actual episode. So
Mhm.
just thank you guys for tuning in. Have a good one.